This is your WCFW Daily News Roundup for 105.7 CFW in Chippewa Falls and 93.5 The Tap in Eau Claire.
For 105.7 CFW News, I'm James Kelly. The city of Eau Claire undertook a full residential plow operation on Wednesday as a stretch of warmer weather contributes to dangerous road conditions. The city uses a 3-tiered snow removal system to maintain its roads during the winter in an effort to prioritize those with higher levels of traffic. Aaron Nicholson is the street and fleet manager for the city of Eau Claire. He explained how the city determines when and where to focus their plowing efforts.
The city has 3 tiers of operations. We have our ice road operations, which is your main your main arterial streets, your Gulf Road, Truax, Hastings Way, the main roads everybody uses to get where they need to go. We have some secondary routes, another tier of service, which is a lot of the business and industrial parks, areas around schools, churches, and the like. And then third is just basically the entire city, a full residential plow.
Nicholson says the city typically doesn't plow those residential streets unless there's at least 3 inches of accumulated snowfall. This week, however, the combination of rain and temperatures fluctuating around freezing is creating especially difficult road conditions and could even lead to road damage.
The freeze-thaw cycle is not great for the streets. I will say I think I'm grateful that we still have snowpack on the side streets. Otherwise, 2 years ago, we had, the last 2 winters, with the exception of this one, we had a lot of just rain, freezing, and not a ton of snow. Well, all that water seeped into the cracks of the roadways and popped a lot of holes into the streets, so it created quite a mess in that aspect.
While the warmer weather poses a different challenge to maintaining safe road conditions, Nicholson says it also gives their crews an opportunity to clear the slush and ice that has built up over recent weeks. They plan to continue monitoring road conditions on Thursday and Friday with a mixture of rain and snow in the forecast. Eau Claire residents can do their part to keep the streets clean by adhering to alternate side parking rules, clearing snow from catch basins near their property, and being patient as plow drivers work their way through the city. A Wisconsin State Assembly committee held a hearing on proposed legislation that would establish a sandhill crane hunt on Tuesday. The proposal comes as agricultural workers say the birds are causing significant issues with crop loss, with about 200 producers reporting conflicts with the sandhill cranes each year, contributing to over $1.5 million in losses. The birds are also not included in the state's Wildlife Damage Abatement and Claims program, limiting the ability of those farmers to receive assistance or compensation for their lost crops. State Representative Paul Tittle is the vice chair of the Committee on Sporting Heritage and argued federal wildlife authorities said Wisconsin could consider a sandhill crane hunt when the population reached about 30,000. He also says there are an estimated over 112,000 sandhill cranes in the state now. Those speaking against the bill say research shows establishing a hunt will not solve the crop loss issues, and adding the birds to the Wildlife Damage Abatement and Claims program could cost over $1.5 million more each year. A long-running study found that high levels of PFAS in the water supply are negatively affecting bald eagles across Wisconsin. According to a WPR report, the Great Lakes Bald Eagle Health Project has been testing the birds for contaminants like heavy metals in their blood since 1990. In partnership with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, researchers at Wisconsin Sea Grant, and the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, the organization began testing blood samples from eaglets along Lake Superior and the Apostle Islands in 2023. The results of the testing on those blood samples found around 40 different types of PFAS. Researchers also determined that the higher levels of PFAS in the eagles contributed to a decline in antibody levels and white blood cell counts, leaving the birds more susceptible to disease. They raised specific concerns about the birds' ability to respond to new infections like the H5N1 bird flu that has been spreading across the country. The researchers are now working to use the test results to determine exactly where the forever chemicals are coming from. Dunn County officials are asking community members to contribute to an online survey to determine the best ways for them to share important local news and information. According to a press release, the county is asking residents to share what information currently available on their social media pages serves them in the best way and how often they'd like to receive local updates. The survey also asks what other information residents would like to see more of in the future, including things like community event postings, job openings, or volunteering opportunities. Some Chippewa Falls students are collecting shoes through the end of January to raise money for people in need. The drive was organized by the Chi-Hi Future Business Leaders of America and National Honor Society in partnership with a company called Funds to Orgs. The company ships the shoes to entrepreneurs across the world and will donate 40 cents for every pound of shoe collected. The proceeds will go to Agnes's Table to support their meal services. Collection sites are available at the high school and middle school, the Hyde Center, and St. Peter's Catholic Church. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation will provide up to $200,000 in tax credits to support a significant upgrade project at Cascades Tissue Plant on Forest Street in Eau Claire. According to a press release, the full amount of the tax credits will be determined by how many jobs are actually created and the total capital investment in the project. The $6 million project will see the installation of a new state-of-the-art converting line, which company officials estimate will create 36 new jobs over the next 2 years. State lawmakers are introducing legislation to protect Wisconsinites from ticket scalping and a prohibitive resale market for concerts. State Representative Jill Billings is a co-author of the Swiftie bill, named after widespread complaints of ticket scalping and excessive resale prices for a Taylor Swift tour. The proposed bill would prevent resellers from using bots and multiple email or IP addresses to purchase tickets for resale at a higher price. It would also limit a single person to a maximum of 8 tickets. Lawmakers are hoping to hold a hearing on the legislation this month. For 105.7 CFW News, I'm James Kelly.
A win for Marquette. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Men's college basketball, Marquette over Xavier, 66-65, thanks to a slam dunk by Ben Gold. With less than a minute to play, head coach Shaka Smart after the game.
It feels good to win. Guys did a great job at the very end. Doing one of the most basic things that goes into winning basketball games, and that's, back-to-back possessions of a score and a stop.
The win snapped a 6-game losing streak for Marquette. NBA, the Bucks came up short in San Francisco, losing to Golden State 120-113, Steph Curry 31 points. NFL, the Packers in the playoffs against the Bears Saturday night, but they'll do it without one of their most versatile players. Bo Melton to IR with a knee injury, suffered against the Vikings. Melton has played wide receiver, defensive back, and on special teams.
He became the returner, he's the off guy, he does so many things, so he'll be missed for sure.
That's special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia with Sports on Mike Clemens.
Chippewa Valley weather.
A little foggy this morning, then scattered rain developing here by later today, and we could get a quarter to a half inch in spots. Our high in the upper 30s to low 40s. Tonight, cloudy with some rain and snow, and then tomorrow, a little bit of light snow, then mostly cloudy with a high in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it's 26.
That's your WCFW and the TAP Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WCFW.FM or thetap.fm.